It's Brandon Lewis here playing second fiddle to Michael Yaffee while he is out, but playing it like a maestro, like a very short, diminutive maestro.
Hey, don't be picking on short people now.
I know. Hey, you go to the nursing home, you see no big people. There's just all less short ones that live like small dogs. We just keep yapping and living.
Yep.
From the text monster here, by far the two most important Tennessee conservative groups. If you can only follow two, Tennessee Stands and Tennessee Conservative News. Thank you for texting in.
Hey, Brandon, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm the new executive director of Tennessee Stands, effective, I guess, the beginning of January. And the Tennessee Stands seeks to just close that gap between those that are elected and then the citizenry, the ones that elect our representatives. And we serve almost as a watchdog to just keep an eye on every single bill. Well, I wish it was every single bill, as many bills as we possibly can, to watch and see how our legislators just both discuss and vote on bills. So I know that you, when I called in, I had heard someone else who had called in to talk about HB 1971 and SB 1958. And just want to circle back to that real quick, if you don't mind, Brandon.
Go ahead.
And just make it, very clear that we had two members of our Hamilton County delegation support the people's voice, and they heard their constituents, and they voted based on what their constituents felt like was best with that bill. So they opposed the bill, and that's Representative Michelle Renaud and Senator Bill Watson. The other members of our delegation did support the bill, which, as you shared, makes it much more difficult for the citizens to seek an injunction from the state when they can identify that a bill or a law is unconstitutional. So just a huge thank you to Representative Renaud and Senator Watson who listened to the people.
One thing that's impressed me, obviously I knew Michelle was conservative and why I got behind her and her candidacy, but
right.
Bo Watson has showed an amazing rare trait, and that is to start listening to constituents. And between the upcoming governor's election, where we'll see a change in power, and we're obviously going to see a change in leadership in the Senate. I would love to see Bo Watson take that position as Senate leader, because he at least listens, right? If they're not listening,
right.
you can't even start somewhere. And I've often said that my big desire at the Tennessee Conservative after 6 years of doing this is for government just to suck less. I no longer think that it will be good. And so I think with the change in leadership, we could get somebody in there that sucked less than Randy McNally or Bill Lee, and I would love to get behind those efforts. What else is going on in the legislature that's coming down the pike that maybe people can still take action on? I know time is running out.
Time is definitely running out, and the unfortunate reality is the majority of the bills the Tennessee Stands was following have already been killed or died. They are the most conservative bills we could find, the ones that reflected conservative values. They cannot make it through committee, as you know, and you talk about often. But one bill that has some life in it, and we would love to get people to support, is the party affiliation bill, or you could also refer to it as a closed primary bill. It's House Bill, or HB 886, SB 777. And this bill comes to the House Finance, Ways and Means Committee next week on April 8th. And there are two bills that came out this session that both would have put some teeth to the closed primary. It is already on paper technically illegal to vote in another party's primary, but there's no teeth to it. So this bill would do that, and like I said, it hits the Finance, Ways and Means subcommittee next week. So if anyone listening is passionate about making sure Republicans vote in Republican primaries and Democrats vote in Democrat primaries, you can go to TennesseeStands.org and go to our legislative priorities, and you'll see this listed as a bill that you can click on. I've already written the email for you. You put in your information, and it will send the email to the committee directly.
Awesome. And people want to sign up on the newsletter. We had that text come in from the text monster, and I know Gail and I were speaking about how we will get just dozens of text messages and emails right before an election asking people how to vote. One of, if not the best resource that I know of in the state of Tennessee for the state elections coming up in August is Tennessee Stands report card. And to get that, they can get on the newsletter list and go to TennesseeStands.org. Is that correct?
That is correct. You can also go directly to the website, which is tnreportcard.org. I will say that our volunteer team is working diligently right now to update it for 2026. We update it every year after the session ends so that we can go through and look at every single bill that we were tracking and see how each representative, Republican and Democrat across the state, how they supported or not supported the bills and the position that we took as the constituency, right, the people. And then what's also incredible about this resource is if you go to tnreportcard.org, you type in your address and it will pull up your representatives, and you can click on them and see who lines their pockets. You can immediately see, is it PACs? Is it individuals? Is it outside of our state? Are there outside agencies paying for these people to vote the way they want them to vote rather than the people? So it is an awesome resource, and like I said, it still has all of 2025 legislation in it, but probably within the next few weeks, and we'll have it ready to go with 2026 data.
Yeah, we recently shared a post that was given to us where Michelle Renault's Get the Fluoride Out of the Water bill was killed by Republicans, yes. And it was the lobbyists doing a little meeting where they're like, oh, we're going to convince these rhinos to send this to a different committee where we know it will be killed. And when you look at Republican leadership in Tennessee at the leadership level, it's about 95 to 97% of the money in Republican leadership comes from outside of the district and from special interests. And if you go to tnreportcard.org, you can see, hey, are my elected politicians listening to the constituents? Did they take the time to raise their money in their district? Or are they lazy, and did they depend on special interest, in which case you know by almost looking at the money. I wrote the book, How to Raise Money for Political Office. I understand how this stuff works. If their money comes from outside of the district and from special interests, I've never really seen them be very conservative in their voters, because as the money goes, so the votes go as well. And it just amazes me. I assume that the same people that think if we need fluoride in our water because it helps our teeth, maybe we should put some Preparation H in there too. I mean, what else could we put in the water that would help us? And even when you go down to the Dollar General and you buy your fluoride toothpaste or your fluoride mouthwash, it says on the bottle not to ingest it. And if you ingest it, you should call poison control. And these people think we definitely need it in our water. It amazes me that a few dollars of lobbyist money up in Nashville can buy millions of dollars of harm all across Tennessee because these lawmakers are so addicted to it.
Yep, it's true. And Farm Bureau, I believe it was Reed, who I've got a soundbite ready to go on our socials when I need it. But he recognized and told, the Farm Bureau that they have the largest influence over anyone else, citizen or business or PAC. They have the largest power in the legislation, which is why the pesticide bill died.
Yeah, it's amazing, and people don't know. So, guys, you need to tune in and wake up. I would say if you stopped 100 people at the gas station, identified the ones that vote consistently, which wouldn't be many, in these state and local races, the majority of them can't name their state representative or state rep, and they can't tell you one single solitary thing that happened in the legislature last year, and that includes people you would think would be smarter, architects, lawyers, attorneys, doctors, and we continue to vote without any information, and then we wonder why our government doesn't reflect our values.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And I'll just plug this as well. On social media, I regularly post throughout the session. Every day that they are in committee, I am just posting all day long. This bill got killed. This bill passed. These are the people that voted for it. These are the people that didn't. And we try really hard to communicate with the people through our Facebook, Instagram, and our X accounts, which are all of them is at Tennessee Stands.
All right, Ann. Well, thank you so much for calling in. This is Ann from Tennessee
Absolutely.
Stands, and one of the most important organizations when I first started fighting COVID at the county level and discovered that all of the power rested in the state. Tennessee Stands was already on the job about 2 months before I was roused from my home on Brainerd Road, and I'll never forget how instrumental they were. So if you liked it when the grocery stores and your church and your little local eateries opened up right behind the corporate box stores that were allowed to stay open the whole time, and the liquor stores and the strip centers, then you can appreciate and thank those folks.